have finally finished my Santorini cross stitch and I'm so excited because today is the day where I get to frame it. And I've bought a professional frame from a framing company. I've got it custom made and I'm just super excited. So I'll take you on a bit of a journey to show you exactly how I frame my cross stitch. Okay, so here's everything that you're going to need to frame your piece. So first of all, you need your cross stitch picture, obviously. This has been freshly washed, pressed, and it's literally ready to go. Then you're going to want a pencil and a ruler. You need some pins of some description. These are dressmaker's pins. You want them relatively long and fine. These are going to help you put everything into position. You're going to need a needle and thread for lacing up the back of your piece. Some good scissors. If this is going to be a piece that you are going to be hanging, you want something decent to hang it with. This is a professional frame. I've had it like custom made for this piece. So it's from a professional framing company, but obviously I am now framing it. I'm not paying for that service. It did actually come with some hooks for the back of the frame. And I have also got this cord for hanging it up. So this is like 2.5 millimeters, I think, nylon framing cord. So it's good tensile like strength on that. The other things you're going to need is some framing tape. This is not regular brown tape. This is specifically for framing. It's acid free, which doesn't matter too much because this isn't going to come into contact with my piece. But if it did for any reason, it's always good to have acid free paper. This is, like I said, specifically for framing. So the strength of it is a bit more tacky. Then you're going to want some mount board. Now this is like 5 millimeter thick mount board, like foam core mount board. It is just like regular poster board, but this is acid free. Now this is going to come into direct contact with my cross stitch. So I don't want anything that comes into contact with that to potentially have chemicals which are going to, you know, interfere, react with my cross stitch piece over a long period of time. So you're talking like 20, 30 years or whatever of it being in a frame. I don't want this to cause any issues. I'm a bit of a sucker for like a good frame. You can tell the difference between a good frame and like an IKEA frame. So I've taken it apart, but it's got the backing. It's just really nice. You might not be able to see it. But it's just a really nice like wood finish. There's like a slight grain in it. Which is exactly what I wanted, but yeah, really good quality custom made frame. The first thing you want to do, I've obviously cut this already because it's a bit of a faff, but is you want to cut your foam board. So lay this out and get the back, this is why it's been disassembled already, but get the backing of your frame and you just want to lay it over the top. But when you lay it over, just overlap it like a few millimeters. So something like that, if you can see that. So just overlap it a little bit so you're cutting your mount board smaller than the actual backing of the frame. The reason being, by the time you actually come to wrap it, it's obviously going to add bulk. You don't want to then be like cramming it in because you've not got enough room. This is too big by the time it's got your like actual design on it. So cut this a little bit smaller. Then what you want to do is find the center of your piece. So what I like to do is, I mean, obviously I don't have a ruler that's big enough, but I'm just going to like eyeball a rough center point. Make sure this is a little bit off there, but that is fine. So something like that. Obviously if I had a longer ruler, this would help. There we go. So now I've got the center of this particular piece. Then, using the chart, what you can do is find the exact center point on your design. So, once you have that center point, what you can do is if you grab one of your pins and you want to put it through that exact center point on the design and put it, you can push it all the way through, but you want to get the very center of your cross there. So let's pop that into place, get it nice and straight, and that should, all being well, that should mark the very center of your piece. If not, for any reason, you can just jiggle it around a little bit. It seems to be pretty good. Now, just one thing to know as I'm going through this, unfortunately, I am actually going to lose a few stitches on my design, just because I didn't measure it wrong, but I didn't allow for that much of a rebate on this particular frame. So yeah, just bear that in mind when you see my final thing. It might be a little bit off. Now, what we need to do is we need to obviously wrap this around. Because it's mount board and there's like a foam core, you can literally just press these pins in the side. So what I always do is go to the center and just press the pin in. You want to be able to get it out again, so you don't want to press it all the way. And then I do the same this side. So we've got that. Then we're going to do down. Then, once you've got your 4 pieces there, you literally just want to fill it in, but do it evenly. So if I do one here, I'm going to do one there, then I'm going to go here, then I'm not going to do one here and then there, because then you're going to kind of stretch it in strange ways. So yeah, just kind of keep it symmetrical and keep everything going and put your pins all the way around the outside. Then just go and check all of your pins are in position. If you need to take them out and realign them, then go ahead and do that. Then the next step is like lacing the back. So you can turn it over. This is where you'll literally just start lacing the piece. Okay, so the back is completely laced now. What you want to do is just remove all of your pins that have been keeping it in place. Oh, and if you have any loose bits, just cut them off now because you don't want them. And there we have it. So just check everything over. Everything should be fine. You should be nice and even. Not too tight, not too skew-whiff or anything like that. If you are using glass, make sure you're like super careful when you pop that back in. You don't want any accidents to happen now. Doesn't matter too much about this side having fingerprints on it because you can obviously clean that, but I'm going to go ahead and clean the inside. Then you want to just pop your piece in. This is the most exciting part because then you get to turn it over and see what it looks like. Oh my god, it looks so good. So what I'm checking for, because this is a full coverage piece, obviously I can't put it down because it will just plop out, but I've got a hair there, so I need to sort that out. And I'm checking that everything is relatively straight. So here, some of these houses look a little bit off to me. I'm aware obviously that some of it's cut off, so I'm going to try and fix that. That looks like it's coming out a little bit too far for me, so I'm going to double check that side. And I'm also, like I said, just having a look, seeing if there's a little hair there and there. I'm going to cut a little tiny piece of this and just use this as a little lint roller. Okay, take 2. Let's turn it over and have another look. You're happy with it, you can't see any hairs, you're happy with the way all your lines are, everything. And yeah, you're like, yeah, this is good, that is good. Then what you do, and take your time with that, don't rush, because you really don't want to get to a point later on where you feel like you've missed something. So then you want to just put your backing on and make sure things like this are tucked in a little bit. Literally cut the length. You want it overlapping, sort of half on the frame, and then the rest here, like so. And ideally, I've cut this one a little bit too short. Ideally, you want it just a little bit longer than that. So yeah, obviously you're gonna have like a little bit of movement because it's there, but that is your finished piece. Now, if this frame had a stand, that would obviously just stand up. I wouldn't have to do anything else. But in this case, I have the hooks. So you obviously need to make sure you're doing this the right way up. Don't do your hooks at the bottom. So I like to kind of just hold it like that, turn it over, and then I know this is the top. You can even just write top on there if you are really that way inclined. Now these need to go about 1/3 of the way down. So there is kind of a right way up and a wrong way up. You can see it sits a bit more flush here, it's raised up there. And I'm just gonna roughly like eyeball what I think is 1/3 of the way down, but I am gonna make it equal on both sides. So I feel like this is 1/3 of the way down, and that is 10 centimeters, which is about right, to be fair, because I'm pretty sure this is about 30 odd, yeah. Now they come with screws. I would highly recommend you drill a pilot hole first, because if you go and just chomp that straight the way through the wood, I personally think you're gonna, you don't want to split your frame. So I have my trusty drill. It's like that. Yeah, so it's, to be honest, that is like, the frame is this wide, that is like halfway. So that's where I'm going to drill just a tiny pilot hole. You don't have to go in too far. You just want to get out some of that wood so you don't cause any splitting. Then we can put this into position. And 2. So we've got those in. That is the scariest part of this whole process. Right, now, the next thing you need to do is obviously put the cord on. Now I'm looking at this now, this is way too thick. So I will show you what I will do to put the cord on, but I'm gonna get something much thinner than this. I'm pretty sure like half the size of that, so like 1mm would be enough. I'm just worried by the time I'm knotting it, it's going to raise it up here. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to show you how I would do it, but I'm going to get some more like of this that's a lot thinner. So what you want to do is get a little over, like you want to double it over and a little bit more. So you want to give yourself like this, maybe not even quite as much as that, but we'll just say this for now. So that much. And you want to keep it together. You're going to go up through this loop, and then, oh, I've just made a different length. And then loop it through. So you're tying sort of one of those overhand knots. Like so. Then this one, bring it up through here, like that. Now you don't want this to be super tight because that's going to cause tension on each of these hooks. And you want to be able to hang it. So you kind of want like this much, it to be kind of up. So keep it kind of loose like that. And split your cords so they kind of come in, they lay nice and flat together, come in and then separate. Then what you want to do is swap them over at the back, bring them around to the front and knot it, just a regular knot, like that. And make sure that you've still got, you know, there's no tension here, it's nice and loose. So knot it, then come to the back, swap them over, bring them to the back again, bring it to the front and knot it, like that. And then for a third time, to the back, bring it around to the front and knot it. Then you can kind of bring them together, but like I said, look, this is what I was worried about, like a massive bulk there with this thickness. So yeah, definitely don't get 2.5, get something thinner. And then in order to keep them together, you can trim them. And you just want to put a bit of tape over them. Like that. Trim them and make sure the ends are kind of in there. Like so. And so if anyone needs to like retighten it or anything like that, they've got that little bit of extra that they can do that. And there you go. I mean, if I hold it like that, you might be able to see it. Like you've got like this whacking great knot here, which is going to keep it away from the wall, which you don't want. So yeah, but there we go. There's your picture. So here it is. I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy. I looked at how long this took me and I started this on the 21st of April and it is the 29th of May. So it took me like 5 weeks and 3 days of hardcore stitching, and I would probably say the last like week, maybe slightly less than a week. Yeah, like the last 4 days or so, I've literally just been doing this because I'm like, I'm already a week late. My friend's birthday was on the 21st, but I'm like, this is fine, it's a week late. I've not actually seen my friend, so it works out okay. Tomorrow is literally the first day I'm going to see her, and I literally finished it like the day before. In fact, I was literally stitching this sun this morning, and I finally got that finished. So I washed it, I pressed it, and yeah, had to go at framing it. So I framed some of my pieces before, the ones that I've given as gifts. So I kind of know what I'm doing, but yeah, obviously I'm not a professional. So, you know, just bear that in mind. But I'm so happy that I have it finished. It's so bright and colourful. And oh my god, it looks so good. Yeah, I'm proper happy. So I hope that was helpful. and you can maybe learn something new and to try yourself at having a go at framing some of your pieces. Just do make them look as professional as possible without looking too perfect, because obviously we're all human and we're not professional framers. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.